Hello everyone, Tristan back with another video, and in this video I wanted to talk about how to avoid plosives when you're recording with a microphone and tips and tricks for that. First of all, let's define plosives. What are plosives? Plosives are when you're saying words with the letter P in them where it kind of overloads the microphone and causes the microphone to do a really loud pop or click. Now this particular microphone that I'm using here today is particularly impervious to plosives, and it's one of the better ones for that. It's the Shure SM7B, but a lot of other microphones are really pretty bad with plosives, and some of them will even just emit a really loud clack or pop or crack every time you overload them with P's. But I can demonstrate a bit what that sounds like here with this microphone. If I talk directly into the surface, into the microphone, you'll hear what I mean. Please PayPal me. Please PayPal me. You can kind of hear that really pops and sort of doesn't sound good at all, versus if I talk across the surface, not directly into the microphone, but more across it, please PayPal me. That sounds a lot better. So that's really my first tip is when you're positioning the microphone, don't position it so that the front surface of the microphone is right. You're talking directly at it like that. Actually, you want to talk across the surface of the microphone. And as you can see, like this microphone, I've chosen to mount it actually upside down than you probably normally would in a situation like this for that reason. So instead of mounting it where the surface of the microphone is like this, I have it where the surface is like this, and then I can kind of talk across the microphone, but at the same time be close to the microphone, because the best audio quality is generally the closer to your mouth the microphone is. So that's something to consider when you're sort of mounting your microphone or placing your microphone. Now, if you have like a tabletop microphone stand or something like that, just don't talk directly at the microphone straight on. Put the microphone, aim it more towards the corner of your mouth. That way you're kind of talking past the surface of the microphone rather than directly into it. The other tip is that generally a larger foam windscreen will help prevent plosives better. This is sort of the minimalistic one, but the microphone also came with this larger one. And if I were to take this off and put the larger one on, plosives would be greatly diminished with this microphone as well. And then the other thing is you can get a external pop filter that looks like this. And I got this one on Amazon for only like $10 or even less. And this can just mount on your microphone boom or whatever, or stand between your mouth and the microphone. And then it really helps reduce the plosives quite a bit. Let me demonstrate that for you. Please PayPal me. Please PayPal me. So as you can see, a lot of the plosives are eliminated by using something like this as well. In general, you don't necessarily need to use a foam windscreen and this, because using too many things between you and the microphone does actually reduce some of the high-end frequency response. It will cut out some of the highs. So it can be slightly detrimental to the overall sort of sound signature of the microphone. But on the other hand, if it's a difference of getting a lot of plosives when you're talking versus not, always opt to taking the measures not to get them. Now, as I mentioned, some microphones are definitely more prone to plosives than others, but even as I demonstrated here, a microphone that traditionally is not supposed to be like super plosives, you still can get plosives with it, just depending on how you're using it, how you're talking into it, and things like that. The other thing is, if you are recording somebody who just doesn't pay attention to this kind of stuff, oftentimes, like if they're a singer or whatever, you're in a studio or just whatever, you have some talent coming in, they oftentimes will want to like completely eat the mic and talk really like right up to it and put it right up to their mouth and talk right into it or sing right into it. So sometimes directing them to back off a little bit from it and try to talk across the surface of the microphone rather than right into the microphone is helpful, but a lot of times they don't listen or they don't want to do that. And in that case, you're really going to want to install a pop filter in between the microphone and them. That's really going to help a lot. But to me, microphone placement makes a huge difference. And of course, plosives are greatly diminished if the microphone is further away from your mouth, but you're not getting as good audio quality. So it's really kind of all about finding that balance and finding what really works best for you in your situation. But I think the number one thing is microphone placement, where you're aiming the microphone is the number one thing to avoid plosives. So if you have any further tips on how to avoid plosives in your audio that I haven't mentioned here, I would love to hear them in the comments field, as I'm sure others would as well. And thanks for watching this audio tips video. If you thought it was cool, give it a thumbs up. If you thought it sucked, give it a thumbs down. And I will see you in my next video. Thanks for watching.